What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. How are you? How are you? How are you? I'm Bill Forth, and this is Real Talk Chronicles, but you know that already. So that's why you're here hanging out with me. So I appreciate it. I respect it. I love it. Thank you so much. I got a lot to talk to you about tonight, and we're going to get into it. Trust me, we're going to get into it real good, nice and heavy. Um, excuse me. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Can you believe the date? Like, really? December 5th. It's here already. Time is flying. People just talking about what they're going to do for Christmas and holiday parties and things of that magnitude. Speaking of parties, I will be at Row House on the 17th. My crew, sort of flavors and I will be at Row House doing what we do, brunch party. It's going to be a lot of people coming. Um, speaking of that, please be careful out here. They're calling it what the triple threat, uh, the flu, COVID, and RSV. Just still do your due diligence and protecting yourself and stuff like that. Um, Real Talk is sponsored by Soft Illusions Art Gallery. It's the holiday season. Malika and her mother have a lot of inexpensive stuff. If you want to do grab bags for people or just something thoughtful that you want to give them, it's excellent. Go to softillusions.com and look it up. I think it's softillusions.com. Um, Reggie Wells Quality Speakers. That's another inexpensive gift for the holidays. Of course, we got to shout out Ingram Taxes and the Daily Arts of Survival magazine, the number one martial arts magazine in the city, in the country. My bad. Your fault, my mistake. That's what I usually say. Um, of course, Melba Wilson and Melba Soul Food Restaurant and Leon Ellison Chocolat and Harlem Underground. Excuse me. I have a lot to talk to you about, and I'm going to talk to you about some stuff. First, I'm going to have to go off my checklist. I had one, but let's talk about Elon Musk and Twitter. Since he's taken over Twitter, right? Hate speech on Twitter since Elon took over against gay men is up 58%. Against Jews, up 61%. Against blacks, 202%. First and foremost, where are all these people coming from on Twitter that you got time to be spewing hate stuff at people? Really? Is that what we're doing now in this world and day and age? Just so disrespectful and vindictive that we have to say things to people just to be mean for reasons only you know. Only you know. Um, what do you say about that? How do you feel about that? That's crazy. I think it's sad. I really do. That the fact that people would want to do that and just have so much negativity to spew on a platform behind uh, a keyboard. You know, them cyber bullies, boy. There's some tough son of a guns, man. You know what I'm saying? They can say what they want to say, do what they want to do. It baffles me how some can say so disrespectful and be so disrespectful to others. But when you're in their face, you be like, oh, I was playing. Yeah. When somebody about to get that ass, it's a little different story. So I I don't know what your thoughts on that. We don't have to stay on that. Um, love to know what you feel on it. And moving along, let's talk about. I told you I got some stuff for you now. Let's talk about hmm, what's this? Um, all right, we'll start off talking about Deion Sanders. A lot of people. Oh, remind me if I forget. I definitely want to talk about the Jerry Jones picture and what LeBron did. Kudos to LeBron. But let's talk about Deion Sanders. I'll read it. A number of Jackson State University recruits decommitted following Deion Sanders' new head coaching position. A handful of Jackson State recruits decommitted after Deion Sanders became the new head coach for University of Colorado. On Saturday, the former NFL cornerback was officially named the new head coach of Colorado's football program. The news came as a shock to many JSU fans and even resulted in some of the recruits to decommit from the university. This weekend, wide receiver Robert Lockhart III, offensive tackle Jordan Hall, and defensive back Twan Wilson announced they are 100% open to new recruitments. Sanders' announcement comes just after he closed out an undefeated season and winning the 2002 SWAC championship over Southern University. During his time at JSU, Sanders racked up a record of 27-5 over 3 seasons he spent with the team. He also brought light to the football program and historically black colleges and universities. Hold on. Let's see, universities. During his time at JSU, okay, and yeah, HBU, universities and HBCUs. In addition, Sanders was able to bring high-profile recruits to JSU who could have possibly committed to a football subdivision. Wide receivers Kevin Coleman Jr. and Quadaris Davis, defensive lineman Katron Evans, and cornerback Dejaw Warren are just a few that are currently on JSU's roster that could potentially become transfers. In his introductory press conference, Sanders indicated that his son, Shadur Sanders, I guess I'm pronouncing it right, will also be transferring to Colorado. Shadur is currently the quarterback of JSU and has thrown for 3,383 yards and 36 touchdowns on running for 174 yards and 5 touchdowns this season. Shadur's transfer isn't official just yet, but it could lead to a domino effect among other players. Now, let me just say this. Hey, Dana, what's going on? What's up, Mark? Let me just say this about people. A lot of people are in an uproar over Deion leaving. First and foremost, a high-profile Hall of Fame cornerback like himself goes and steps to HBCU schools and uses his leverage, his power to draw in high-profile recruits. He has the right to move on and better his career as a coach and get a high-profile coaching job. He doesn't have to stay there because he's not bigger than the HBCU. He's drawing attention to it. So the fact that he went there and did that brought attention. Now, if they're not still pouring money into HBCU schools, that's not Deion's fault. Maybe we have other coaches that of color that want coaching jobs, former professional athletes, go to other schools, HBCU schools, and teach and coach. Now, Colorado was like, yo, Deion, you got drawing power. Come on, come on. So it's obviously the man knows his sport and he can coach. So kudos to him for doing what he feels best for himself. A lot of times He took the job. He did what he was supposed to do. He's shown that he's a proven winner, even in the coaching box. The man just had like a few toes amputated due to, I think it was diabetes or some other stuff, uh, some other health issues, and he's still doing this thing. So kudos to Deion Sanders for doing his thing. Why wouldn't he take his son? Now let's talk about LeBron talking about Jerry Jones. I thought it was admirable of him to speak up and ask the media, because that's what he did. He really called out the media in regards to them not asking about his opinion on Jerry Jones, because LeBron has a fixture. You know, he's a figure. So they asked him a lot of questions. He's outspoken. Remember, they told him to shut up and dribble. He's not that dude. And so they come to him with current events and things that are happening in the news today. He calls the media out to show you how biased the media is, where they didn't want to ask him about Jerry Jones. They show the picture of Jerry Jones, 14 years old. Jerry Jones says he was there, and maybe the other people there were curious. Curious? What were you curious about? You knew with the protest. I don't think any of us have ever gone someplace at 14 years old and said, I'm just curious. I wanted to see what it's like. You go because you believe. You go because your friends are going, and you maybe a little peer pressure, but you know why reasons you go places. Is it a mistake? Could have been, but Jerry Jones has a history of not doing anything for people of color. So, I mean, he hires them to play on the field, but he doesn't have any black coaches or anything like that. So the fact that he was so powerful that he was able to the picture surfaced, and it just disappeared, right? So you watching First Take, and people were calling out Stephen A. crazy because they were just saying, he said, how can we talk about a picture of a 14-year-old boy? Well, like a lot of other people are saying, Emmett Till was just 14 too, and look what happened to him. I don't know what your thoughts and your comments are on that, but let's keep it 100 right now. You know what I'm saying? Media, when somebody of color does something, are we going too far with this cancel culture? You let me know. Certain things we need to stop, right? But the bottom line is, let's call a spade a spade. Let's be fair. With one does it, everybody gets blamed. Should get called out, or don't call out anybody, no matter what your ethnicity is. That is a problem that we need to talk about. Now, let's get into. I really don't want to, but let's talk about somebody that says they're running for office. And no, let's talk politics. Well, yeah, okay. Let me jump to this story, and then tell me what you feel about this. A former Marine arrested for shooting a 15-year-old campaigning for Raphael Warnock. I'll read it again. A former Marine. They're going to use this, of course, Marine. He could have been a former plumber. Doesn't make a difference, but Marine sounds better for title's sake. But I guess they're painting a picture that he knows how to use a gun and who he is and how his mentality is. I don't know. A former Marine arrested for shooting a 15-year-old campaigning for Raphael Warnock. A 15-year-old boy that knocked on his door while campaigning door to door for Senator Raphael Warnock in Georgia on Thursday. Jimmy Payatz, or Pats, 43, was charged with aggravated assault and aggravated battery for the shooting. He's being held on a $5,700 bond in the Chatham County Jail. Police responded to a call at Payat's Savannah home at about 5:35 p.m. for a report of gunfire. Upon arrival, they discovered the teen had been shot in the leg. Savannah police said the boy was campaigning for Raphael Warnock ahead of the upcoming runoff election between Warnock and Herschel Walker. Piazza, a former Marine, fired a shot through a closed door, hitting the victim. The teen was brought to Memorial Medical Center and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. At this point, there is no indication that the shooting was politically motivated. Not politically motivated. Police said in a statement the shooting remains under investigation. CNN reported that Payatz served nearly 17 years in the Marines and did several tours in Iraq. He retired in 2014 as a staff sergeant. Let's see. Staff sergeant. Where is this now? Sorry. This is what happens when you hit something. Let's see. Staff sergeant. A Facebook post showed Traumatic Brain Injury Center of Excellence. Let's see. A CNN report, Pons served 17 years in the Marines. Sorry, I'm reading my notes. As a staff sergeant, a Facebook post by the Traumatic Brain Injury Center of Excellence from 2020 featured a segment on the Picking Your Brain podcast where Pons discussed his post-traumatic stress diagnosis. So that's what we're doing now, right? Hey, Nicole, you said, I don't know the full story, but I was very proud of how LeBron handled it. Yes, definitely. I'll reiterate it in a second. In a statement to NBC News, Warnock campaign expressed the senator's sadness over the shooting incident. Absolutely. So to get back to the LeBron thing, they would ask LeBron how he felt about Kyrie and what he said, and LeBron spoke in lieu of saying he wasn't he doesn't promote anti-Semitism, and he denounced it, but he had to hear more about what Kyrie was saying and stuff like that. But they were asking LeBron what was his thoughts on that. You asking LeBron about that. So when the picture came out about Jerry Jones, it seemed like it came out, it hit social media, but then all of a sudden, now the picture was Jerry Jones at 14 years old and 19, whatever it was, like 40 something, and they were trying to integrate blacks in a school somewhere in Texas, I think it was. And a bunch of white men and boys were stopping them. And there's a picture of Jerry Jones being in a part of the crowd. Now he didn't touch anybody, but he was looking. He was in the mix. It wasn't like he was looking from across the street. He was right there in it. And what people were saying, nobody asked him to really explain. He said he was curious. That's why he was there. He was curious. But nobody's asking him to meet with the NAACP. Nobody's asking him to take sensitivity training. But Kyrie posted something that somebody else wrote, and he has to apologize and go through all these checks and balances just to play basketball again. So that LeBron's thing was, well, why didn't y'all ask me about what I thought about Jerry Jones? So he was definitely trying to say that the media was biased, and kudos to him for definitely speaking up. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I meant to tell you this segment today would have been with Assemblyman Al Taylor, but Al is running for city council and he's out taking care of some personal, well, not personal business, but political stuff. So he sends his regards, and he will see you in January. Also, next week hopefully we have Dr. Marilyn Quarter this Wednesday. Hopefully the fellows will be here. We can chop it up with them. And the 19th will be the last show, I think. So for the year. And then we'll be back January, hot and heavy, to get busy. Now, let me go to another story. I don't know if you heard about Atiana Jefferson. Today, I think, starts the murder trial of Aaron Dean for the October 12th, 2019 shooting death of Atiana Jefferson in her home while she was playing video games with her nephew. This is one of the most important cases of police violence in the nation. Holding a Texas police officer accountable for the brutalization of a Black woman is rare in North Texas, especially given no Black juror was selected to serve on the jury panel. So y'all telling me there's no Black person in Texas you felt was forthright in being fair? So only white people can be fair in this trial. Really? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. It's sad that sometimes things can just be so blatant. You know what I'm saying? What do we do? What do we fight? How do we fight? You just got to report the news and speak up on it. Let's talk about another story. An elderly woman is suing a Denver police detective after he ordered a SWAT team to raid her home, per NBC News. The detective obtained the warrant by using the iPhone's Find My feature, which falsely identified the woman's home as the location of stolen firearms and a stolen iPhone. What kind of shit is that? I think I put. You can look at one of my social media platforms, one of them, and I think I posted the video of the woman, 77 years old, lives with no one, and you do a search warrant. Yeah, definitely intentional. Like, what kind of nonsense is this? You know, it pisses me off because we don't hear about things like that happening to other ethnicities. And yeah, sometimes you kind of got to go down that rabbit hole. Yeah, this is an elderly Black woman, 77 years old. Now, truth be told, the SWAT team was very nice to her. But what else? She's 77 years old, so thank God. And she was so cooperative and naive on what was happening. Hey Cheryl, what's going on? It's so sad. But a 77, a detective, you don't even do your due diligence. You playing like Find My Phone. That's like some looking for your girlfriend or your boyfriend games, and you like ping the phone or something, and then the phone says it's on so and so and so and so. So now you get a search warrant. Who were the supervisors that authorized that? What judicial system co-signed that? Now I get it, you're looking for guns, And I don't know who the people were that you were looking at supposedly had these guns, but you're pinging phones. You ping phones and then you do your investigation. I was a detective. Follow your leads, follow the breadcrumbs, stake the place out. Wait, you see a 77-year-old woman, and then you just go get a search warrant and you boom a door, and then you got to see the video, please. Yeah, get the video and look at it. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it more Wednesday. Hopefully, when we got the fellas here, we can chop it up a little bit better in regards to that. Let's see. Okay, let me read a little bit more. It says an elderly woman is suing the Denver police detective as he ordered SWAT team to raid her home, per NBC News. The detective obtained a warrant by using the iPhone's Find My feature, which falsely identified the woman's home as a location of stolen firearms and a stolen iPhone. According to NBC report, Denver Police Department Detective Gary Saab issued the warrant the day after a truck was allegedly stolen from the parking garage of a hotel. The vehicle held 6 firearms, including military-grade weapons, 2 drones, $4,000 in cash, and an old iPhone 11. Though the stolen item posed a concern of their own, Saab interviewed the truck's owner to help him recover his things. The owner told him he may have found the location of his stolen item using the Find My app. The app pinged the address of a 77-year-old Ruby Johnson. Without any further investigation, Saab based his insurance of the warrant for the information and sent SWAT teams to Johnson's home on January 4th per the complaint. Johnson said she was frightened upon seeing a team of men in military gear with her. I mean, come on, man. With her with their tactical rifles and a K9 show up outside her home, demanding her to exit with a bullhorn. Really? We do it to ourselves sometimes. But you know what's so funny? What you do, one police department, it seems like it affects everybody. Now that leads me to, did you hear the story about the female chief, right? Female chief. She's with her husband in a golf court. I guess they're in their complex and in their neighborhood, wherever. And I think the light is out on the cart. And pull over. Being pulled over. Hey, what's up, Stefania? Being pulled over. The officer is talking to them about why he pulled them over. And she goes and gets her ID, and then she says, "Oh, are you, is your body cam on?" He says, "Yes." He's like, "Well," she's like, "Well, I'm like chief, of Tampa police or wherever she's from." And I guess, of course, he lets her go. Now they are bringing her up on departmental stuff. Listen, everybody, let's stop nitpicking. There's things called discretion and courtesy, right? It has always been known that former law enforcement does not write law enforcement. They don't write doctors, nurses, and stuff like that, right? And former city agencies like FD and things of that magnitude, other law enforcement corrections. Where are we going with this? What did she do wrong? For all those out there that's listening, some of you might say, "Yo, oh," some people might be like, "Ah, yo, you because you're a former law enforcement, you taking up." Listen, Everybody out there that knows a law enforcement person would ask him, "Can I get a PBA card?" Why? Because it gave you courtesy if you got pulled over. So knock it off. That is just the way the job is. That's the way it's supposed to be. She did not do anything wrong. She did not say, "Oh, I'm the chief. If you write me this ticket, I'm gonna call your supervisor and have you transferred." Now that could be some conversation, but that's the way shit has happened before in the past. If you pull over a chief and you want to be a little tough and stuff, you know. But that little courtesy that he gave her, he was supposed to give her that. She did nothing. She didn't do anything wrong. And then if any of you think she did, it's like, think about whatever job you do, and you ask somebody to do you a favor in another division of your agency, whatever it is, because you work there, or because you're in the same field, they may grant you a little leniency, or they may do your whatever the favor is ahead of somebody else, or put a friend of yours ahead of somebody else. It's called nepotism. It's called common courtesy. It's called perks of every job. So please stop thinking that this is something wrong. It's not wrong. Now, if you have a bad taste in your mouth about law enforcement, then there isn't anything I could say that's going to change your mind. You're just going to feel what you feel, and you're going to say what you want to say, and you don't give a damn what Bill says. Got it. Cool. Make sure you feel that way when the new year come around and you want to ask your friend, your officer friends for a PBA card. Just make sure you feel that way. Be like, nah, I want the ticket. I don't want courtesy. I don't want nobody to look out for me. I want the ticket. I want all that smoke. If you feel that way, then we good money. But if you here and you want favors and want shit done for you, and can you do this and can you do that? I still, to this day, I've been retired for a while now. I still get calls to this day, today, in regards to law enforcement issue calls. Because I'm a vessel, and I'm some place that you can come and feel comfortable and ask questions to. People, a lot of you sometimes, not you all here, some people with this cancer culture, you're going too far. You're pushing the wrong buttons, and you're just going to make it hard for everybody in regards to any issue or topic. Anything. It hasn't. We're not even just talking about law enforcement. Hey, what's up, Vanessa? How are you? We're just not talking about just law enforcement situations. We're just talking about anything. People will stop doing favors. Like really, we have so many different issues we're still dealing with. Racism. We're dealing with can't say this, you can't make this joke about this nationality or this culture or this person of sexual preference. Like, come on, like things are getting crazy. Um, I see hate is on the rise amid spat over high profile remarks against Jewish people. Anti-Semitism crimes more than doubled in November for 2021. But I don't know. Do you see these kind of statistics for people of color? But God forbid, another nationality, another culture gets it. Everything gets catapulted in front of the screen. I'm not mad at it. I just want it fair. I just want it fair. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know your thoughts, comments. People don't play fair with us, man. And we don't play fair with ourselves either. Crime is crime. Oh, let me just say this. Thank you for all the people that reached out in regards to the fire in Hamilton Heights on Friday night, Saturday morning. The building is right next to mine. I can get where, for those that know that, I live on 141st Riverside. So those that reached out It was like, oh, so I appreciate it. Thank you. There weren't any casualties. I think there some people are a little misplaced right now. What's up, X? Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. So we covered some topics. I have the last one of the last ones. It's a doozy. So we covered LeBron. Kudos to LeBron for speaking out. Stephen A. Den- defended the picture, talking about he was 14 years old. Why would you even go down that road? You know, like somebody else says, Emmett Till was 14. He made a mistake too. He paid with his life. Some people are going to say apples and oranges. We talked about the female um, female detective, no, female chief with her husband. They in a uh, what is it? Golf court driving home, and I guess the golf court shouldn't have been on the street. Didn't have the proper tags or something. I don't even know where they were. They were in a gated community. Maybe they was close by. And she's a Tampa police chief. Another officer, I guess, adjoining county, pulls her over, and she identifies herself. That is what law enforcement does. Trust me, everybody. You've always been taught in law enforcement, if you get pulled over, identify yourself. Did she? What is she wrong? Because she put her ID out first. She could have said, "Hey, hold on." I think she did. I think she said, "I'm police chief of Tampa," and follow his lead. You know what I'm saying? Could he have been something that hangs between your leg, a penis, and still wrote a ticket? Absolutely. But it's called courtesy. You give it. That's why a lot of people ask for the PBA cards, because you want courtesy if you get pulled over. So, like I said, if any of you feel like that, please don't ask me for a PBA card, because I just want to make sure that you want that smoke, you get that ticket. You just own that. Let's stop nitpicking. We got other things to worry about. And I'm not saying us. I'm just talking about us as a people worrying about her and that. That's nothing. That's nothing. We talked about Deion Sanders doing his thing. Um, People mad at him because he's leaving HBCU school for to better himself. He stayed there 3 years, and he made them champs. He wants to advance his career as a coach. Kudos to him. I applaud that. Keep moving. Keep moving, brother. Let's see. You got that right, Vivian. You know what I'm saying? People, listen, knock it off. That lady didn't do anything wrong, man. It has nothing to do about black and white right now. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's have real talk. This is what the show is called, Real Talk Chronicles, right? It's real talk. A lady didn't do anything. She did what any other chief would have did. Identify yourself. I don't know how this is blown up to something, and then she resigns. Like, so the man, everybody came at her hard. Like, come on, listen. And then some people were making it like, oh, if she was black, whatever. She's white, and she got thrown under the bus. Is it about her being white, or is it that she was law enforcement and she got thrown under the bus? Because people don't hate law enforcement. I get why you hate it. Why you hate some. I get that. I'm not sitting here saying. What I'm saying is, don't hate somebody that doesn't hate you. Like, I've met people in my life and they were like, oh, you a cop? I hate cops. Okay. You don't know me from a can of paint. You hate me. You hate me because of my job. I get it. And then I had to end up asking that person. I said, so you're no better than a person from another ethnicity hating another ethnicity because of their ethnicity, right? I don't want to say white versus black. It'd be white versus this, Asian versus that, this from that. We got people, we got Haitians, and we got Dominicans hating Haitians. So I'm just saying, you pick the ethnicity, and that's what's happening right now. And what makes you better? Because you pick your poison. Much respect to you. I appreciate the interview you had with DJ Reggie Wells. Might you do one with an educator named Jawanza Kung Fu? Absolutely. Uh, Reach out to me on social media, and let's talk over. You can look at me on Instagram, uh, Bill Foster Jr. 06, or Facebook, and let's talk about it. I will interview anybody. Oh, there's something I posted for those that follow me too, or my friends, I should say. Um, Bill Duke broke down a story. If anybody here that is my Facebook friend, I put the interview up, and oh my God, it was touching to hear what he was saying. I told Bill Duke, we're Facebook friends, and I sent him and said, yo, please, I would love to interview you. See, we don't talk to the historians. We don't talk to the people that lived it. We want to talk to the people that ain't been there, but they know where they're going. Right? That's a lot for you to some to digest. Let's talk to the people that can tell you why they feel a certain way, why they don't use the N word, why they don't do this, why they don't do that. Let's stop talking to the people that do things that we don't accept, and knowing them not leaders. You know what I'm saying? Dana said exactly. I have never understood why people try to recruit others to dislike another person because of past judgment. Absolutely. We if anybody, people of color should know what it's like to be disliked just because you come in a room or your skin tone. So now when we get the opportunity, we throw in shade. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Mo? Hey, Collins. So let me just talk about the topics that we covered tonight. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. It was Real Talk with Assemblyman Al Taylor, but he's taking care of some political stuff. So I wanted to come up, and there were so many different topics I wanted to talk to you about. I figured, I said, yeah, I rock out tonight. You always know, anytime people are always, you want to come in and chime in and chop it up with me on any given night, you're always welcome to do that. So, but we're always on YouTube. I try to share this to Facebook, but we strictly YouTube right now. So I try to come and give you all the juice and all the smoke right here. So let's talk about what we talked about tonight, because I got one more topic for you. And we could talk about anything you want to talk about. We talked about the police chief that resigned because she got in trouble. That's BS. Let's knock it off. It's BS. Everybody that has asked for a PBA card or asked a police officer to let them go for something, you know it's BS. We talked about Deion Sanders. Kudos to him for advancing his career. The Hall of Famer is moving onward, and he's 3 years. He stayed there 3 years and changed that conference around. I read you to them. I think he took that record. They went 27-5 over 3 years, and they won the championship for that conference. Colorado came and offered, threw some money at him. Maybe there's not enough money that's flowing into the HBCU schools that to get the schools, the facilities, and the football fields and stuff that's stopping. He can't do everything. He started the trend. We also talked about Atiana Jefferson, the trial for the officer that shot her. Let me read it again for you. Let me go to her. Today starts a trial. So if you watch your court TV, today starts the murder trial of Aaron Dean for the October 12th, 2019 shooting death of Atiana Jefferson in her home while she was playing video games with her nephew. This is one of the most important cases of police violence in the nation. Holding a Texas police officer accountable for the brutalization of a black woman is rare in North Texas, especially given, now here's the kicker, everybody, especially given no black juror was selected to serve on the jury panel. Now, how in the F that you couldn't find one black person to sit on the trial and they say we're being judged by our peers? So I guess the fact that she's dead, she has no peers. So because the white officer is alive, the white man is alive, he's being judged by only white individuals. Come on, man. Please. I'll be trying to watch this to see how this turns out. So then also we talked about the 77-year-old woman in Denver. I'm just recapping with you all. The 77-year-old woman in Denver that is suing the Denver detective after he ordered a SWAT team to raid her home. The detective obtained a warrant by using the iPhone Find My feature, which falsely identified the woman's home as the location of a stolen firearms and a stolen iPhone. According to the NBC report, Denver Police Department Detective Gary Staub issued the warrant the day after a truck was allegedly stolen from the parking garage of a hotel. Does that sound a little fishy? The vehicle held 6 firearms, including military-grade weapons. Here we go. You think what I'm thinking? Why are you in a hotel? And it was stolen? Sometimes you got to follow the breadcrumbs and go right to the source. Who knew what was in that truck but the person who was driving it, right? Okay, though the stolen item posed a concern of their own, Staub interviewed the truck's owner to help him recover his things. I'm trying to take care of it. We're gonna get your stuff back. The owner told him he may have found the location of his stolen items using the Find My app. So you doing my job for me. Okay, got it. The app pinged the address of the 77-year-old Ruby Johnson. You know she old and she cool. She a sister. 77, Ruby. You know, I put this. I think I posted this. So if you're any of you my friends on social media, go look at, or you can Google the story. You don't have to. You can Google it and see the whole situation. Staub based his assurance of the warrant on the information and sent a SWAT team to Johnson's home on January 4th, per the complainant. Johnson said she was frightened upon seeing a team of men in military gear with tactical rifles and a K9 show up outside her home, demanding her to exit with a bullhorn. You know, that lady didn't know anything about that. But as I said, I think the worst hurt I have was going south and your own people call you a Yankee and treat you like you don't belong there. We don't realize that we are considered by others as just black people, no matter what. They don't care where we're from in this nation. You're totally right. You're totally right with that. Listen, light skin, dark skin, good hair, bad hair. Knock it off, bro. I mean, it's just the way the world is so separated, and we do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves. Love God is a privilege. I appreciate you, especially because you present a down-to-earth, civilized person from the right side of the tracks. Thank you, sir, or ma'am. I don't know if you're male or female, but I appreciate that. So I try to do that. I think, you know, in life, you're giving opportunities. And a lot of times I try to give back. Before the pandemic, I was speaking to schools on how to help kids, motivate them, and also how to interact with law enforcement. That's what I've done with this. So because of Real Talk, because of the passing of my mother, and I knew I needed therapy, we started talking about it and got together and started conversing about how we are as relationships. See, there's a lot of things that people don't want to know. And I think my man Mo, he can co-sign this, or any other law enforcement that's out there. People don't understand the cultural mental state of what's happening with people and why they act the way they act, because it's from upbringing, good, bad, or indifferent. It starts off with that. Now, with law enforcement, we always wanted to know where the sheets at, right? In the Mississippi and the South, there were always law enforcement, politicians, people in civil servant positions. They were the racists. They were the Klan. Uh, so the mentality has been taught down historically. Anybody at a certain age, we can sit here and we can laugh about historical things, TV shows, or how we were raised, and what we did, and what our parents did, or our grandparents did, or the villages that we have all grown up to. Okay, thank you, Privilege. Nice to meet you. So we have to understand the mentalities, and the mentalities have been taught. You have people that I'm sure Mo can attest to this, that they're probably their grandfather was a Klan, right? If he's still alive, right? Part of it, good old boys club. We know. So the mentality has come from the South, and it's a culture, and it'll never change until we're all gone. Now, have we gone too far? Officers can't do their jobs because they're afraid to be police officers. So now we have crime running amok in our cities, in our inner cities, and it has nothing to do with ethnicity. Now it just has to do with everybody's like, oh, you know, you don't want me to touch nobody, so I'm gonna leave them alone. So now, oh yeah, well, and now we look at the set of reforms and changes and bills and rights. People committing crimes, heinous crimes, and they're getting out. Makes no sense. No sense at all. We got to change that. Let's get back to let's calling a spade a spade. But first, let's clean up our own house, right? Let's clean up our own house. And I'm not saying the problems in our houses have not been caused by the outside entities, but let's get back to the old school schooling ways. I'm not trying to tell you you got to beat your kid's ass like I got mine, but at least be accountable. Let's start holding these parents accountable. If your child is under a certain age and they commit a crime and his ass should have been in the house, maybe you get charged with that crime too. I bet your kids, there'll be accountability. I bet you little PD or whomever, she will know, they'll know where their child is, he or she. Remember? I remember when I was a kid, my parents had the numbers to my friends' houses. It was almost like I couldn't go out unless my friend actually came to the door and was like, "Oh, can I go out with Eddie or Ray or Cooney or whatever?" You know what I'm saying? Or Mo or Vanessa. My parents were like, "Well, you know what I'm saying?" When you was dating at a young age, your parents wanted to see who you were dating, he or she, and they had told you. I'm sure we've all listening, and the parents have said, "No, I don't like her. I don't like him. Be careful." You know, they don't want to because they know we hard headed, so we got to learn on our own. So they let you go on down there, and then there's something that happened. You was like, "See, I told you he was a fool. I told you she wasn't what you expected." Most said if they're afraid to do their jobs, they should do something else. Their reform should be reformed. And facts, your parents wanted to know your friends. Absolutely, yes, Dana, niece. You know what I'm saying? Stefania said, but unfortunately, I can't foresee that happening on a mass scale. What is it? Oh, who needs to be held accountable? Um, catch me up, Stefania, to what you're saying, so I can dialogue with you on that. Um, yeah, so there's so much um, going on in regards to so many different things, man. There has to be accountability. I think if you're talking about, when I'm talking about law enforcement stuff, or just people in general and things that, or parents, I think you're talking about parents, right? Yeah. Well, listen, like I said, they don't talk to the Moles and the Bills, right? Or the Danas or the Nicoles or the Stefanias or the God is privilege is a privilege. They don't talk to these people, because I'll sit down and tell anybody, let's start making some laws, some accountability laws. I'm not talking about put a curfew in, because we all know some people, she wanted the license plates to the car. Exactly. Exactly, Nicole. You know, or the parents. Stefania, maybe, I don't know, sis. Help me, help the world. I feel it's something that has to be tweaked. But okay, everybody just play with me on this one. If your child is a problem, it should be documented. Now let's get it. There's some little bad demon childs out there that we can't do anything with their little asses. But it should be documented. Schools should have records on it. I'm not saying law enforcement should have it. What's up, Curtis? How you feel, brother? It was good seeing you, man, this weekend, bro. Um, there should be some documentation, because they documented us in school when we don't listen. How many times on the report cards back in the days? Oh, little Billy talked too much. Then my father went whap, whap, whap. Billy didn't talk no more. You know what I'm saying? We all had ADD and all these other shits and these acronyms. But then you got a whipping, or you got handled. Now that shit has come back. It's come back like a bad cold when you older. You know what I'm saying? But you earn the right to not sit still. You're an adult, because you're working now and taking care of your families. But when talking about the parental aspect of these situations, where you have a child, male, female, white, black, Spanish, I don't care what it is, and this child is of a certain age, things, and Stefania, stay with me. We just tweaking this on the fly. Excuse me. From 12 to 18, children living at home. And there's documentation that this child is problematic. Now, I'm not talking about mental, because that's a problem too. That's and something that definitely need to be addressed. But I'm talking about volatile, just obedient issues. Fire, start shit. It's like, this is little son of a gun, this little demon child is just off the chain. Or kid doesn't want to do homework, doesn't want to, parents barely have rights these days over their kid. Stefania, that's why I said, help me tweak it. I'm not disputing that what you're saying. I'm just saying, how do we tweak it? How do we make it right? If you and I sat down and we had sat at a table with the mayor or the president or the governor, what would be some things that you would want to throw out there on it? Hence, why they can transition to a different gender without their parents' consent. Everything is so different. Now, I don't co-sign that shit. I wish my child would come in here. Daddy, I want to be a boy. Epiphany, you're not. What the fuck you gonna name? You're gonna change your name to? Biff? No, you're gonna be Epiphany. That's what your little name is. That's who you're gonna be. And if your name is Bill Jr., you're not gonna come in here and talk about you want to change your name to Darla. It's not happening, B. It's not happening. Now, once you move out my house and you grown and you got your own job, you paying your taxes, and you never have to step back in my house, then I can't stop you. I can't stop you. But all that 13 years old and I want to wear a skirt. Nah, we not doing that. You'll take your ass to boxing class or something. Now, I ain't saying you can't dance with the girls. Now, if you feeling that you changing or you becoming somebody else, I'm not knocking that. I can't stop that. But you're gonna still stay. You're gonna be a mister all the way. If I can help it, you're gonna be a mister or a miss. What your sexual preference is, what you do behind closed doors, I don't give a damn. I really don't. I really mean that. But just represent, hold the family name down, hold down some just different things. Now I'm not saying that some people just want to change. You want to change shit. But like I said, after you out and about and you done pay, you started paying back on your college, your student loan, and you working for IBM or whomever, you got a job. You do what you got to do, man. I'm not gonna say I like it, but just do what you got to do. Funny said kids that are hostile or have anger issues, that's usually linked to some sort of trauma issues. The way to tweak it would be to give the parents back rights over the kids and to also hold the parents accountable. Yeah, I mean, that's the point. I mean, I would love to hear what anybody else has to say about it. It's a twofold problem that's very layered. It's been decades now of programming, etc. I totally get it. I'm not disputing 1 minute. I just, like I said, we were just talking about it. I put it out there in the universe, and I just said what I would say if I had a table. If somebody asked me to come to a table. It's definitely, it doesn't change overnight. You don't make something a law overnight. It would have to be tweaked. Where, like, it seems like a lot of laws are not tweaked to the way they should be. Break it down slowly. Nitpick it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, do this. Absolutely. It is a conversation, Herm, to have and create the table. It definitely is, man. You know, how you doing, brother? You good? Yeah, and that's all I'm trying to say. But we all got to want that, to sit at that table and have that conversation. A lot of people corner store lawyers and therapists and shit. Stefania said everything is easy access now as well. So it's hard because kids could link with people who have way across the country, the internet. Well, I don't care what they do across the country. I mean, people, like you said, you're right. People are still giving kids a lot of leeway. What happened to sit down, shut up? You know what I'm saying? Like let's keep it 100. Like, let's stop being too soft. It's like we're very soft now. The only people who are not soft are the people that are committing the crimes. Everybody else is soft. We're all passive. Oh, I mean, we as adults, most of the people that's listening to me now, yes, we do need dads back. And we need mothers back too in the house. You know what I'm saying? We don't need mothers out in the club. Or, you know what I'm saying? We need everybody back in the house. We even need the family structure again. We need to still be going to grandmother and granddaddy's house for Thanksgiving and holidays, or visiting them, or go over there. Kids still need to be have chores. Kids, who's earning the iPhones now? Yep. More parents want to be friends instead of parents. Absolutely. Come on, man. Like, we got to do. And see, I'm sure the people here with us, those days are over. It's really a new day, and I get it. But so when we say it's a new day, so what do we do? We just don't talk about it anymore. I mean, so what? How do we get back to the old day? And maybe we can't get back to the old day, but can we get back to some kind of day that's has a resemblance of some kind of stability and structure? Because right now this shit is chaotic. It's outside of control. Stefania said dads are imperative because they set and maintain the order in the family. Absolutely, Stefania. Absolutely. I listen. I been blessed to grow up with multiple fathers. My biological was there. I love him, respect him, look just like him. I've had his boys, big brothers, men on the street, my friends' fathers, my childhood friends, their fathers were my fathers. Their mothers, their wives were my mothers. I, I, was- I literally came from a village. I love it. I love it. If older men are still using nursery terms, they have to ask themselves what part of they played in the destruction of their ethnicity. Okay, yeah, nursery. I mean, yeah, you're right. Maybe nursery terms, like you said, old days are over. We got to start rebuilding, gentrify within. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Everybody, agreed. Listen. We need some help, man. We need some definitely help, man. We got a lot of stuff we got to work as people that um we can't, we got to do it. And we need each other. You know what I'm saying? We need each other. But who's sitting at the table? You know what I'm saying? We not we a lot of people don't want to get at the table. Like I want to get asked to the table. I want to get asked to the table. Nobody's asking me to come to the table because I don't have anything to lose. If and I'm going to take all the ideas that you've thrown out right now, and I'm gonna write them down, and I'm gonna take them to the table, and I'm gonna say, yo, Stefania said this, Herm said this, uh, 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 Privilege said this, Nicole said that, Dana said this, Colin said that. I'm gonna say it. I'm just speaking. I'm just speaking. I'm just being a voice. If you get to the table, I hope you said Bill said something that you agreed with or disagreed. Everybody trying to get kudos. I don't need that. I'm good. I'm good. I just want us to all win. That's all I want. I want us to win. Because right now, we're not winning. We're not winning anybody. And if you think we are, you're delusional. You know what I'm saying? We're not winning. Oh, wow. I just got a text in San Francisco to allows police killer robots. What kind of buffoonery is this shit? Let me see. Hold on. Police robot. Police killer robots. Let me read this for you all. Thank you for sending this to me. They don't have to be unless they want to be announced. Appreciate it. Let me say, okay, so here we go. San Francisco ruling board of supervisors have voted to let the city police use robots that kill. You know what communities they're going to be in, right? Definitely know. Uh, the measure permits police to deploy robots equipped with explosive and extreme circumstances. Dr. Kathleen Connolly from the group Stop Killer Robots said the move was a slippery slope that could distance humans from killing. The city police, the SF, San Francisco Police Department, told the BBC they do not currently operate any robots equipped with lethal force. They said, though, that there may be future scenarios in which lethal force could be used by a robot. A spokesman for the police said robots could potentially be equipped with explosive charges to breach fortified structures containing violent, armed, or dangerous subjects. They also said robots could be used to incapacitate or disorient violent, armed, or dangerous suspects who pose a risk or loss of life. Advocates for the measure said it would only be used in extreme situations. How do you pick up what situation is extreme? Who makes that call? Supervisor, right there on the scene. In regards to policing, check out what the future may be in San Francisco. Thank you. Yeah, the measure the measure passed. Oh, opponents, however, said the authority could lead to further uh, militarization of the police force. The measure passed with an amendment on Tuesday specifying that officers could only use robots wielding deadly force after employing alternative de-escalating tactics. So this guy, like I said, here we go back to checks and balances. What's up, Darren? Yep. Wow, killer robots. You know, I'll post this on my Facebook page for anybody who wants it, and then you can read it in its entirety. The board also stipulated the board also stipulated that only a limited number of high-ranking officers could authorize its use. This type of lethal robot is already in use in other parts of the United States. Wow. Dana said, this is very true. I can totally agree. We would be unstoppable if we built each other with no fear of who gets to be the finish line. Absolutely, line first. When together, we are not ready to unify or have the conversation. Let's eat together instead of watching each other starve. Makes sense or not? Makes a lot of sense, niece. Makes a lot of sense. This type of lethal robot is already in use in other parts. In 2016, police in Dallas, Texas used a robot armed with C4 explosive to kill a sniper who had killed 2 officers and injured several more. The San Francisco Police Department said the department does not currently own any robots outfitted with lethal force, but said the measure might be needed in the future. No policy can anticipate even conceivable situations of exceptional circumstances with officers may face. The San Francisco Police Department must be prepared and have the ability to respond proportionally. And a spokesman said the federal government has long dispensed military grade equipment, camouflage uniforms, batons, and armored vehicles to help bayonets and armored vehicles to help local law enforcement. But a California state law passed this year now requires city police or forces to inventory military grade equipment and seek approval for their use. Dr. Kathleen Connolly from the campaign group Stop Kill Robots said the move could make humans more and more distant from the use of force and the consequences of the use of force. She also said the measure could make it easier to make decisions to use lethal force in the first place. Wow. It was used in, Mark said this was used in Texas already. That's crazy. That's crazy, y'all. I don't even know what to say about that. If you're my Facebook friend on social media, I'm going to post this right now, so you can go to my page and look at it later after you subscribe and share this footage today, this podcast part. Yo, unbelievable, everybody, unbelievable. What are we dealing with right now? You know, what are we really actually dealing with right now in this world? Hopefully, or like you said, it's already being used. For shame on the people that think it's not. And then you see how they got their little checks and balances, or how can it be used, when it's going to be used, and things of that magnitude. So, all right. Now, maybe the last topic I want to talk about is you know who. Hold on, let me make sure I get this page for you. Yeah, I know, Mark. I didn't know if you wanted me to tell everybody that you sent it to me. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles, and I'm the host, Bill Force. So it was supposed to be Real Talk with Assemblyman Al Taylor. He's out here taking care of political business. So I figured I'd come up, and with so much going on, I figured I'd come up here and chop it up with you. If you like it, subscribe to it, please. Share the link. Share the YouTube channel, so we can just build up the content. When we were on Facebook, When we was on Facebook, we had a lot of good viewers, but now we make sure we just here and we're doing our thing right here, all alone. Um, I'll talk some sports later on before I actually get off. There were some baseball signings, basketball games, stuff like that. But I want to talk about, no, before I say his name, I was watching a channel, in the morning Sunday. I like to get my little political stuff on. And, George Snuffleupagus, I always play with his name. Uh, he asked him tough questions. So he had some Republican person on. So he was talking about, 45 Trump, talking about he's running for office again. And so the guy was like, well, I think we're over him, it is what it is, bop, 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 bop. So he says, Trump is trying to suspend the Constitution. Hey, Doctor, what's up, Brian? How you feel, brother? What's going on? Long time. Bread and citrus. What is that for? Privilege. So he said, excuse me. He said, Trump is thinking about running for office again. He said, would you vote for him? He said, yeah, I would vote for him again. He said, well, wait a minute. You just said you don't want to play with the dude no more, but you said you would vote for him. He says, well, I would back my political party. He said, even if the guy's talking about suspending the Constitution. Now, here we go. Segue, right? Let's see. Where are we? This is from Yahoo News. I'll make the shit up. Former President Donald Trump, it just kills me to say that. Former President Donald Trump attempted to clarify his call for suspending parts of the U.S. Constitution or the termination of rules and regulations to allow himself to return to the White House after drawing rebuke from other Republicans. Initially, Trump said on his True Social platform on Saturday. Now, I remember earlier I told you Elon Musk, I gave you the statistics with hate crime for gays. I think it's up 58% for gays, 61% for Jews, and 202% against blacks on Twitter. A freedom of speech since Elon Musk has brought it over. Huh. What do you want me to look up? Like privilege. Give me like spoon feed me some more. Like I got a lot going on. You say look up what the Roman Empire devised to distract the populace. Yeah, I wish, Mark. I wish they would. I might one day. I said. So check this out. This dude says. Initially, Trump said on his Truth Social platform on Saturday that the role of social media companies limiting and removing misinformation and content that violated its policies in 2020 allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. In his newest post, Trump indicated he didn't say he wanted to terminate the Constitution. Here you go back and forth, stating that steps must be immediately taken to right the wrong, referring to what he describes as widespread fraud and deception involving big tech, or which he provided no evidence in the 2020 election. Trump's initial comment came after Twitter CEO Elon Musk promoted a series of tweets from written Matthew Taibbi about Twitter removing content particularly related to Joe Biden's son Hunter in 2020. Earlier, a Republican close to Trump sought to clarify the former president's comments, suggesting that Trump was misunderstood. First and foremost, how people speaking for somebody else saying that this person is misunderstood and not? We all heard what came out his mouth. He's highlighted the unprecedented I'm sorry, the thing. He highlighted the unprecedented nature. The thing was blocking. Joe Biden tagged meddling in the 2000 election with Joe Biden. Hmm. So what I'm confused at, privilege. I don't know what the term bread and citrus. I don't know. Like I'm trying to talk, and you're gonna got me trying to make me think about what bread and citrus are. I don't know. I don't know what it is, bro. Uh, I'm a layman kind of guy. Just give it to me straight. Don't. I'm trying to think to make sure I'm giving you exact content, and you got me thinking about bread and citrus. Stay with me, bro. So, um, this is buffoonery that we deal with, and there are people that will vote for this man again. There really are. There are people that, when they talk about smoke and mirrors and things of that magnitude, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you can tell me and help me out with some stuff, because I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't understand why, you know. But hey, this is what it is, bro. Please, we talked about, man. Just a recap tonight's show. We talked about a man that shot a 15-year-old because he was urging people to vote for Senator Warnock. We talked about Deion Sanders. I'm just reading something, everybody. Like, privilege, you're gonna make me, like, you don't get it. Like, you're gonna make me look up bread and citrus. You don't want to tell me about it. You just gonna force it down my throat. All right. Um. Anyway, we talked about Deion Sanders. We talked about Jerry Jones and LeBron James. Even talked about Stephen A. Smith a little bit. You know, we talked about Elon Musk. Talked about Atiana Jefferson. May she rest in peace. She was shot in her home while she was playing video games with her nephew. The trial started today. So maybe it might be on court TV, some episodes or the replay. But if you're not doing anything, you get to court TV, why don't you check that out and see what's going on. We talked about the 77-year-old woman that they committed a search warrant in her house in Denver. This is real talk, right? Got a lot of stuff going on. We're talking about hate crimes have risen in New York City, or I think it's just Jewish community. I think New York City. Um, what you think about Hakeem? Hakeem Jeffries. I like it. I think he's fair. A diet of entertainment of political policies of which the masses are fed to keep them docile. Okay, thank you. That was from Privilege. So Wednesday, I'll be here rocking with you. Hopefully the fellas will be here. We can chop it up some more. Let me run that the calendar to you. So the 7th, Wednesday, we hit the 12th, 14th, and then the last show will be the 19th. I think 19th, yeah. I think the 19th. I think I'm gonna let the guys off on the 21st, and we won't be back until the new year. So everybody, please, I appreciate you all chiming in and listening to your brother. I hope we learned something or something to think about, some thought provocative stuff we can take with us. I'm trying to get Lenny Green to hang out with me on the 19th here too. So I appreciate you all. I got some stuff to do. I got some more reading to do and stuff, some other things. Like I said earlier, thank you for those that reached out to me in regards to the fire. It was great hanging out with you, Mark, and Ollie over the weekend. I really had a great time. The brunch party is on the 17th of December. Be careful. There's still the variants out here, RSV, COVID, flu. Appreciate you. Thank you, Mark. So like I said, subscribe to it, share the YouTube, the link under, share it to your page, help build up the brand. Like I said, positivity is the hardest thing to sell, but I ain't gonna stop teaching and preaching. You know, everybody, I'm Bill Foster. This is Real Talk Chronicles. See you Wednesday. Be good. Stay safe. Be careful.